of the media, I would like to bring to your attention some of the actions the NDC government, through its Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayeni, has been undertaking in the past few weeks. We are aware that in the past few weeks, the Attorney General has withdrawn charges against some accused persons who are leading members of the government in power. These cases are the Republic versus Samuel Ofosu Ampofo and Anthony Kwaku Buahin, Republic versus Stephen Opuni, Seidu Agongo, and Agricult Limited. The two cases involving the Republic versus John Pandit Asiama and others, the Republic versus Collins Dauda and 4 others, the Republic versus Ernest Thompson and 3 others, and the Republic versus Kaisel Atto Forsen and 2 others. Ladies and gentlemen, in the Republic versus Atto Forsen and Richard Japa, the Attorney General withdrew an appeal to the Supreme Court against the split decision of the Court of Appeal acquitting the accused person. These people face different charges, including fraudulent breach of trust, money laundering, conspiracy to commit crime, and violations of the Bank of Ghana Act. Again, they were also accused, some of them were accused of defrauding by false pretenses, wastefully causing financial loss to the state, money laundering, corruption by public office, and conspiracy to cause harm, conspiracy to assault public officers, and the rest. We know that these cases were filed after painstaking investigation by the investigative authorities of the state and pursuant to the advice of career prosecutors in the Office of the Attorney General who were actually conducting prosecutions. Most importantly, the cases had been deliberately delayed by the maneuvers and manipulations of the judicial system by the NDC accused persons through the filing of various interlocutory appeals and applications, petitions to the Chief Justice, as we are all aware. Nonetheless, in most of them, the trials were at very advanced stages and the courts would have delivered their verdict in the course of the year. However, the NDC government has decided that justice should not be served and Ghanaians should be denied the opportunity of having the court pronounce on the guilt or otherwise of the officials of this elsewhere NDC government and the current government officials who are facing these charges. The state is also denying the opportunity of recovering monumental financial loss occasioned by the criminal acts of the leading NDC government officials. In a very reprehensible move, which Ghanaians should take note of and condemn, the Attorney General chose the option of discontinuing the prosecution by exercising the option of withdrawal of the charges under Section 59 2B II of the Criminal and Other Offences Act, that the Procedure Act 30. The AG, in essence, turned himself into both a prosecutor and a court of law by ensuring the acquittal of leading members of his own party and denying the court the opportunity of making such pronouncements. Ladies and gentlemen of the media and people of Ghana, what this means is that since the prosecution had already closed its case in most of them, unlike nolli prosequi, which when entered under Section 54 of Act 30, the accused person could have been arrested later by a new government. Under the Section 59, through the withdrawal, the way they've made it, when any government comes and any Attorney General comes and feels that these people should be prosecuted, you are unable to do that because of the means by which this withdrawal was done. We are of the firm view that AG knew that his people were guilty of the offenses, and therefore, if he had entered just nolli prosequi rather than a withdrawal, a future Attorney General can try them for the same offenses and the accused persons will go to jail, rendering his work meaningless. So, to give them absolute protection, he exercises options of withdrawal. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, this unprecedented act of clearing and whitewashing people of these gargantuan financial and other offenses in Ghana by the newly appointed NDC Attorney General and the John Mahama government is very scandalous, raises various questions, and shows that part of the so-called resetting agenda of the Mahama government is to protect itself and clothe its leading members with immunity from prosecution for financial crimes committed against the people of Ghana. We, the people, need to know, of all the cases before the courts in Ghana, why are these the only cases the NDC want to withdraw? Is the AG saying that there is no responsibility for financial offenses committed against the people for which the accused persons are standing trial for? The reason why the Attorney General, by law, is not obliged to give reasons for entering nolle prosequi or withdrawing charges against accused persons before close of the prosecution case is that the accused persons can in future be rearrested, charged for the same offense, and be tried by a court of competent jurisdiction. However, if the AG has, through his actions, conferred an acquittal of the offenses on the accused persons and granted immunity from prosecution, Ghanaians ought to know the reasons behind this unprecedented decision. In the name of good governance and principles of equality, we, the people of Ghana, demand that the AG of the people, he is the Attorney General of the people, and so we, the people of Ghana, we demand that he provide reasons for ensuring the acquittal and discharge of the accused persons mentioned above, without making the court discharge its duty of pronouncing on their guilt or otherwise. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, we say that this NDC government act of clearing and whitewashing leading members of the NDC of financial crimes is unprecedented. Because when the Kufuor government left office, nothing of the sort happened. Indeed, none of the Attorney General appointed by President Akufo-Addo withdrew any criminal case pending against leading members of the NPP in the manner in which His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his Attorney General is doing. On the contrary, the records show that the NPP diligently fought all criminal cases filed against former ministers of the Kufuor regime to conclusion. The courts, after full trial and serious work by the lawyers of the accused persons, acquitted all the officials of the financial offenses with which they were charged. The NPP did not delay the prosecution of any President Kufuor appointed minister in the hope that one day the NPP Attorney General will come and not only discontinue the prosecution, but also clear them and confer immunity from future prosecution through a withdrawal after the prosecution had closed its case. What is happening now, clearly, is deplorable and has a tendency to result in a lack of confidence in the administration of justice. It shows that there is one form of justice for the ordinary Ghanaian on the street who is unlucky to steal, and another for NDC leading member who steals and causes gargantuan loss to the state. The politics of expediency informing the actions of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's new Attorney General must therefore stop. Even more condemnable is the plain slap in the face of Ghanaians by the elevation of important public offices of the personalities involved after the withdrawal of these criminal cases. We've seen in the case of Honorable Kesla Tuforsen, he's been appointed as a Minister for Finance. Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo has been appointed as senior office in the office of the Vice President. And most shockingly, a day after the withdrawal of the charges against Dr. Johnson Esiama, the former second deputy governor of BOG, the man who had been accused of fraudulent breach of trust, money laundering, conspiracy to commit crime, and violations of the Bank of Ghana Act, is now appointed as the governor of Bank of Ghana. There are a lot of interesting things ahead of us. In fact, on this man, the Bank of Ghana, in which he seeks to lead, wrote this about him sometime in August 2023 when he granted interview to Joy FM. This was a response from BOG to his statement to Joy FM. And I quote, he said, "It is instructive to note that Dr. Esiama was the governor at the time when the decision taken to revoke the licenses of UT Bank and the Capital Bank, and had every opportunity to propose any other strategy for addressing the insolvency of the said bank if he felt there was a better and more effective strategy. His approach there before the new management team took over was simply to do nothing in the interest of depositors and the financial system as a whole, and to rather dole out large amounts of public funds to failed institutions whose shareholders dissipated these funds on private ventures at the expense of depositors, employees, taxpayers, and other claimants. The Bank of Ghana continued. They claim that the approach to resolving the two banks resulted in the distress of the savings and loans and microfinance sector is pathetic, to say the least. This coming from the Bank of Ghana. They said, with full knowledge that these two banks were connected to the other sectors of the financial system, Dr. Siama and his colleagues were under a duty to take measures that were empowered to take under the law to avert the risk that this institution created for the rest of the system. Dr. Siama also conveniently failed to state the truth that the majority of the MFIs and savings and loans finance houses that failed has started showing signs of insolvency long ago, some of them as far back as 2012, and was the order of the day. The do-nothing approach was at play. Ladies and gentlemen, is Ghana becoming a banana republic? We should not be concerned about the dangers ahead. A situation where a government about a month old or less than 2 months old shows a complete disregard and lack of interest to ensure accountability of its leading members for the financial crimes against the people with which they are charged. We think that the decision by the NDC government to withdraw these charges is highly discriminatory. There are so many Ghanaians out there who are being criminally prosecuted in various courts in Ghana. They have not enjoyed this kind of privilege that has been extended to the former NDC officials. We now live in a country where former NDC officials are treated differently from other Ghanaians. Fellow Ghanaians, please, if you are facing any criminal prosecution, if you are listening to me, and you are facing any criminal prosecution, go to the AG's office, ask for the charges to be dropped, as they have done for these people. In fact, when they were questioned about this, they said that some of the cases, they've been in the courts for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and so it is right for them to be, withdrawn. What are we laying a new policy? Is that what our criminal jurisprudence is up to right now? That when a case is 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, or even 7 years in the court, the cases should be withdrawn. Now, if this is the new jurisprudence, then the people of Ghana, listen to me. If you are facing any criminal prosecution in any of our courts, and it's 4 years old, it is 5 years old, it is 6 years old, it is 7 years old, 8 years or 9 years, then the new criminal jurisprudence in Ghana is that such cases must be withdrawn. Go to your AG's office and ask all charges against you to be withdrawn. Thank you very much.